Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Say It. I am Sarah.
And I am Mike. Sarah, I made you coffee this morning and gave it to you, and you said thanks.
I did, yeah. Why?
Notice I said gave it to you, not for you.
I never thought about which one I'd actually use there.
Now imagine I'd bought you coffee instead from the shop.
I'd say you bought it for me, not to me.
Exactly. And that's not random. There's real logic behind it. And it shows up everywhere, not just with giving and buying.
Wait, really? This tiny difference is actually a whole thing?
A whole thing. To and for, two of the smallest words in English. And today we're finally sorting out exactly what each one's doing.
I'm ready.
Let's get into it.
And here's the one line that actually explains most of it. Think of to as a destination. Think of for as a purpose.
Destination, like a place?
Sometimes literally a place, sometimes a person, sometimes even a time. To is about where something's headed or who receives it.
And for?
For is about why, who benefits, or how long. It's the reason behind something, not the direction of it.
So, with the coffee earlier, gave it to me, that's the coffee heading toward you as the receiver.
Exactly. And bought it for me, that's about who benefits, the reason you're buying it at all.
Okay, that clicks. So basically every version of to and for today is really just this one split showing up in different disguises.
That's the one. Comparisons, time, fixed phrases, even how these words actually sound in real speech, it all traces back to this.
Quick thing before we keep going. If this kind of clear breakdown is actually helping, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making these.
Good place for that.
Destination or purpose, that's the whole shape of today.
Right. And let's actually build the first half out properly, since to is a little more straightforward to start with.
The destination one.
Right. Imagine handing your friend a book you finished reading.
I gave the book to my friend.
Notice the book already existed, and it's just moving from you to her. That's the core picture behind to.
Give me one that's not a physical object.
Sure. Imagine explaining a mistake at work to your manager.
I explained the situation to my manager.
Same shape. Information moving from you toward a specific person. One more, something you'd send.
I sent the invoice to the client.
Exactly. Always something existing, always heading somewhere specific. Now, to also shows up in a bunch of fixed pairings that don't really follow logic. You just have to know them.
Like what?
Imagine a coworker constantly checking their phone during meetings.
She's addicted to her phone.
Right. Addicted to. Always to. Never for. Give me one about relationships.
My sister is married to a doctor.
Exactly. Married to. Never married with. One more. Something recommending.
I recommended that restaurant to my coworker.
Right. Recommend to. The recommendation moves toward a person. Same destination logic. Now here's a genuinely sneaky one. To also shows up in comparisons, and it's actually tested on real exams.
Comparisons how?
Imagine two coworkers and one's clearly been there longer.
She's senior to me.
Right. Never senior than me. Give me one with prefer.
I prefer tea to coffee.
Exactly. Never prefer tea than coffee. There's actually a clean trick for remembering this.
Go on.
Senior, junior, superior, inferior, prior, they all end in IR. Any word ending in IR, reach for to, never than.
That makes sense. So it's not 5 separate rules, it's one spelling pattern deciding all of them.
Exactly right. And this one actually shows up on real competitive exams, testing exactly that mistake. Now, one more job. 2 for telling time.
Like clock time?
Right. Imagine it's 3:50.
It's 10 to 4.
Exactly. Counting backward toward the next hour. Give me one with quarter.
It's quarter to 5, so 4:45.
Right. Always counting toward what's coming, never backward. And a fun regional bonus, some Americans say 10 of 5 instead of 10 to 5.
Wait, really? Same meaning?
Same meaning, and it actually comes from an old sense of that meant off, so it originally meant something like 10 minutes off from 5.
That's a nice little detail. Last thing?
One more, and it's genuinely one of the trickiest in all of English. To can be a preposition, not just part of an infinitive.
Wait, how do you even tell the difference?
Imagine looking forward to something.
I look forward to seeing you.
Right, not to see you. If a noun fits naturally after to, it's a preposition, and the verb after it needs ing.
Give me the noun test.
I look forward to the party. Noun fits perfectly, confirming it's a preposition, so seeing is correct, not see.
Okay, that clicks. Give me a completely different verb, though, just to make sure this isn't only true for look forward to.
Good instinct. Imagine finally getting around to a task you've been avoiding.
I finally got around to cleaning the garage.
Same test. I got around to the garage works fine with just a noun, confirming to is a preposition there too, so cleaning is correct. Never clean.
There it is. So it's a genuine pattern, not just one quirky phrase.
Exactly that. Destination, fixed pairings, comparison, time, and its secret identity before a gerund, all inside one small word.
I actually didn't expect one word to carry this much.
I actually didn't expect either, and for is about to prove it can match that.
The benefit one?
Right. Imagine baking a cake for a friend's birthday.
I made a cake for David.
Notice, before you baked it, that cake didn't exist. You created something specifically for his benefit.
Give me one that's not food.
Sure. Imagine a travel agent finding a last-minute seat.
They found a spare ticket for me.
Same shape. Effort spent obtaining something specifically for someone. One more. Something you'd reserve.
I booked a table for 6.
Exactly. Always service or creation, never just handing over something that already existed. Now, here's a real trap connected to for, using it before a bare verb to explain purpose.
Like how?
Imagine explaining why you're at the gym. I'm here for lose weight is wrong.
That does sound off. What's the fix?
I'm here to lose weight or in order to lose weight. For that purpose job specifically, it needs to, not for. If you want the fuller picture on that, we've actually got a whole episode on in order to, so that, and such that.
Good one to pair with this. Now, for also builds its own fixed pairings, right?
Right. Imagine waiting on a delayed flight.
We waited for 2 hours.
Exactly. Wait for. Always for. Give me one about applying somewhere.
I applied for the job last week.
Right. Apply for. One more. Something more casual.
I need to go for a walk. I'm too stressed to sit still.
Exactly. Go for a walk, a run, a drive. Genuinely common and worth knowing as its own little family. Now, for also pairs with a whole set of adjectives.
Give me some.
Imagine a city known for one specific thing.
Nashville is famous for its live music.
Right, and here's the actual error tested on real exams. People often say famous because of instead.
Wait, really? That sounds almost right, though.
It sounds close, but it's simply the wrong fixed phrase. famous for, known for, responsible for. That whole family always takes for. Give me one more, a different adjective completely.
Sure. Imagine applying for a scholarship with strict requirements.
I'm not eligible for that scholarship yet.
Right. Eligible for. Same family. Try one more. Something emotional instead of factual.
I'm grateful for everything you've done.
Exactly. Grateful for, ready for, thankful for. The whole family always locks on to for, no exceptions.
Okay, that clicks. That's genuinely a big family, not just one or two phrases. One more job now, duration.
Like how long something lasted?
Exactly. Imagine living in the same city your whole adult life.
I've lived here for 10 years.
Right, marking the actual length of time. Compare that to since.
I've lived here since 2015.
Notice the difference. For gives the length, since gives the starting point. Same idea, completely different focus. If you want the deeper version of that whole system, we've got a full episode on I have been.
Good to know that one's there too. Last thing for?
Last one, and it's genuinely surprising. For can also mean because in very formal writing.
Wait, what? Like a conjunction?
Exactly, joining two full sentences. She left early for she was tired. Very formal, very literary. You won't hear it in casual conversation.
That's rough. That's such a strange extra job for such a small word.
It really is. Benefit, creation, the purpose trap, fixed pairings, adjectives, duration, and its secret identity as because, all inside one small word, too.
For genuinely matched too, job for job.
Job for job. And now let's actually run these two right next to each other. Same scenario both ways.
Same person, same object, different word?
Exactly that. Imagine your friend's birthday is coming up.
I gave a gift to my friend.
Right. The gift already existed and it's moving toward her. Now the for version. Same birthday.
I bought a gift for my friend.
Notice that gift didn't exist until you went and got it, specifically for her benefit. Same event, genuinely different picture behind each sentence.
Let's try the casual, shorter versions too.
Go for it. Give me the book instead of give the book to me.
Give me the book. Same meaning, just quicker.
Right, and the same shortcut works for. Buy me a coffee instead of buy a coffee for me.
Buy me a coffee. Same idea again.
Exactly. Now here's a real trap hiding inside that shortcut. It only works with a full noun, not a pronoun.
Wait, what's the difference?
Imagine you're handing someone their phone back. Give it to him is correct.
What if you drop to?
Give him it sounds genuinely wrong to a native ear. The pronoun has to sit right after the verb, before to or for, never squeezed in after a person.
Give me the for version just to check the pattern holds.
Sure, give it to him is correct. Buy him it sounds just as wrong.
Okay, that clicks. So the pronoun always jumps to the front right after the verb.
Exactly right. Now here's something genuinely worth knowing, and it trips up people who've already mastered everything we just covered.
What's that?
Not every verb behaves like give. Imagine explaining a problem to your boss.
I explained him the problem.
That's actually always wrong. No exceptions. It has to be I explained the problem to him.
Wait, really? But give can drop the to completely, give him it. Why can't explain?
Genuinely good question, and there's no logical reason. It's just how the verb works. Explain, describe, suggest. Mention, announce, introduce, none of them ever allow that shortcut.
Give me one more, just to lock it in.
Sure. I suggested him a restaurant is wrong. I suggested a restaurant to him is correct.
So it's not one big rule, it's actually two separate verb families, and you just have to know which one you're dealing with.
Exactly that. One more real bonus before we move on. Some verbs actually use both prepositions at once, each doing a different job.
Both in the same sentence?
Right. I applied to the university for admission. To marks the place, for marks the thing you're actually seeking.
Oh, that's a genuinely clever little trick, once you see it.
It really is. Same scenario tested both ways. The pronoun rule, the verbs that never drop to, and the double preposition bonus. All real traps hiding right next to each other.
Honestly, that little cluster of traps probably fixes half the mistakes people actually make with these two words.
Let's actually go get the other half then, all in one place.
A proper mistakes roundup?
Exactly that. First one, and we already touched it, the comparison error. My car is superior than yours.
Wrong. Needs to, my car is superior to yours.
Right. Any IOR word, always to. Second one, and this is a genuinely sneaky combo, my car is different and superior than yours.
Wait, that's got two separate mistakes in one sentence.
Exactly. Different needs from, and superior needs to. My car is different from and superior to yours. Real exam questions actually test both at once, right next to each other.
Oh, that's genuinely sneaky, testing two rules disguised as one sentence.
It really is. Third, and the pronoun order we already covered, give John it instead of give it to John.
Right. Pronoun always jumps to the front.
Exactly. Fourth one, dropping to before home.
Like go to home?
Right. That's wrong every time. It's just go home. No to at all. One of the only real exceptions in this whole system.
That's a strange little gap in an otherwise pretty logical pattern.
It genuinely is. Fifth, and this one's about arrival specifically. Arrive to the airport is wrong.
What's the fix?
Arrive at the airport for a specific point, or arrive in for a city or country. Arrive to just doesn't exist in standard English.
Okay, that clicks. Last one, and it's about starting a sentence.
Go on.
We've got a whole episode on because of, and due to, and the big reveal there was that because actually can start a sentence, even though people think it can't.
Right, and for is the exact opposite. When for means because, it can never start a sentence.
Wait, really? So they're mirror images of each other?
Exactly mirror images. For she was tired, she left early doesn't work. It has to be she left early for she was tired.
That's genuinely a fun little connection between two completely different episodes.
It really is. Comparison errors, pronoun order, home, arrival, and the sentence starting mirror image, 6 real traps, all in one place.
This whole family of mistakes just got a lot less scary.
Speaking of less scary, here's something genuinely comforting if any of this has felt like a personal failing.
Go on.
If Spanish is your first language, you already have a word doing double duty here.
Which word?
Para. It covers purpose, like our to, and destination, also like our to, and even sometimes the recipient job for handles.
Wait, really? One word doing all of that?
One word. And here's the genuinely fun part. English speakers find por and para just as maddening as Spanish speakers find to and for.
So it's confusing in both directions, not just one.
Exactly. Completely mirrored. If you're a Spanish speaker sitting there frustrated, know that the confusion runs both ways, not just toward you.
That's honestly a nice thing to hear. This isn't a personal weakness, it's just two languages splitting the same ideas differently.
And speaking of how languages actually sound, there's something about to and for that almost nobody gets taught directly.
What's that?
They both have a completely different pronunciation in real fast speech, and it's not slang, it's standard English.
Wait, really? Like how?
Imagine telling a friend your plans. I'm going to leave soon. Almost always comes out as I'm gonna leave soon.
I say that constantly and never once thought of it as its own rule.
Nobody does, but it's genuinely predictable. Reduction happens when to is followed by a verb. Give me one that doesn't reduce then.
Sure, I'm going to the store. Notice, to stays full there.
Because the store is a noun, not a verb.
Exactly. That's the whole rule. Verb after it, it shrinks. Noun or destination after it, it stays full.
What about for? Does it shrink too?
It does, though less dramatically, more of a soft schwa sound than a whole new spelling.
This same mechanism is actually behind two of our other episodes.
Which ones?
Used to, reducing to something like usta, and supposed to, reducing to supposta. Same exact reduction happening, just on different words.
Oh, that's a genuinely cool connection. 3 episodes, one underlying sound pattern.
It really is. And here's something worth saying directly, especially for Spanish speakers. Classrooms often only teach the full, strong forms.
So then real movies and podcasts sound completely different from what you learned.
Exactly that gap. And it's not a personal failing, it's just a mismatch between classroom English and real spoken English.
That's honestly reassuring, especially right after the por and para thing.
And honestly, that's a good note to end the heavy stuff on. Let's close out with a few more phrases worth just knowing exist.
Quick, meaning we're not teaching these the same way?
Right. Just enough to recognize them. First, to and fro, meaning back and forth. Imagine someone pacing nervously before an interview.
She paced to and fro outside the office.
Right. And there's actually a satisfying reason behind it. To originally meant toward. Fro meant away from. So the phrase is literally direction and its opposite, fused together.
Oh, that's a nice little detail. Next.
For good, meaning forever, permanently. Imagine someone finally leaving a city they've lived in for years.
She left the city for good.
Exactly. Not returning at some point, gone permanently. Next, a fun one. Give someone what for.
What does that even mean?
It means scolding someone pretty seriously. Imagine a parent catching a kid doing something they were clearly told not to do.
If he does that again, I'll give him what for.
Exactly that tone. A real old-fashioned threat of a scolding. Last one, and it's genuinely useful. To versus toward.
Aren't those the same thing?
Almost, but not quite. To means you actually arrived. Toward just means you moved in that direction.
Give me both.
She walked to the cafe means she got there. She walked toward the cafe just means she was heading that way. Maybe she never made it.
That's a genuinely useful distinction for telling a story precisely.
It really is. To and fro, for good, give someone what for, and to versus toward. 4 small phrases worth just recognizing.
I feel like I could actually spot all of these in a movie now.
That's honestly the whole goal of today.
Before we head into the role play, let's actually see if it's sticking.
Like a quick test?
Exactly. Quiz time. I'll give you a sentence with a blank, you fill it in and explain why, then we switch.
Let's go. Hit me.
Fill in the blank. I sent the package blank my mother. Same test as always. Does the object already exist?
2. It already exists and it's just moving toward her.
There it is. My turn to answer yours.
Okay. She's the blank manager on this team. Fill it, then use it in a full comparison sentence.
Senior. She's senior to everyone else on this team.
Nailed it. Your turn again.
I explained the schedule blank him. Spot which family this verb belongs to first.
The verbs that never drop to him, and you could never say explained him the schedule.
Okay, that clicks. My turn again.
This one's about sound, not spelling. Say, I'm going to call you the way you'd actually say it out loud, fast.
I'm gonna call you.
That's the one. Last one. And it's the mirror image rule. Can this sentence work as written? For it was raining, we stayed inside.
No, that's wrong. For can't start a sentence when it means because. It has to be we stayed inside for it was raining.
5 for 5 again.
Honestly, the gonna one surprised me. I never think about that reduction happening until someone points it out.
Same here, honestly. And that's exactly the kind of thing that shows up naturally once you stop watching for it. Let's actually hear all of this working together in one real conversation.
Let's do it. 2 co-workers planning a farewell party.
Hey, did you get the cake ordered for Friday?
Yeah, I ordered a cake for the whole office. I'm going to pick it up myself.
Perfect. Did you send the invite to everyone yet?
Sent it to the whole team this morning. I explained the details to Mark separately since he's out of office.
Good call. You can't just say, explained him anyway.
Exactly. Oh, and I'm actually really grateful for you helping organize this.
Happy to help. Is Jamie senior to Priya, or is it the other way around? I want to get the seating right.
Jamie's senior to her, I think, by about 2 years.
Good to know. I'll head to the store around 3 for the decorations.
Perfect. And honestly, for what it's worth, this whole thing's going to mean a lot to her.
Let's pause there for a second, actually, because that had a lot packed into it.
It really did. Let's go back through it slowly.
First one. Ordered a cake for the whole office.
That's benefit, not transfer. The cake didn't exist yet. You had it made specifically so the office could enjoy it.
Right. Sent it to the whole team.
Different job entirely. That's destination. The invite already existed. It's just moving toward the people receiving it.
Explained the details to Mark.
That's the verb family that never allows the shortcut. You could never say, explained Mark the details. It has to stay to Mark, no exceptions.
3 down. Next up, the trickier ones.
Go for it.
Grateful for you helping.
That's the for adjective family. Same pattern as famous for or ready for. An emotion or quality paired permanently with for.
Jamie's senior to her.
And that's the IOR comparison rule kicking in. Senior ends in IOR, so it locks on to, never than.
Last 2, both about sound rather than spelling.
Go on.
I'm gonna pick it up, and gonna mean a lot to her.
Both weak forms, going to, collapsing down the way it always does in real fast speech right before a verb.
6 different moments, and every single one landed exactly where it should.
Honestly, none of it felt like a lesson while we were saying it. It just sounded like 2 people planning a party.
That's honestly the whole goal, and it's a great place to land before we wrap up.
We really did cover a lot today. Let's lock it in fast.
2, destination or recipient, something already existing and moving towards someone.
4, benefit or purpose, something created or done on someone's behalf,
or how long something lasted.
And remember the traps. The I-O words always take to, never than. Some verbs, like explain and suggest, never drop to, even when give and by can.
And when for means because, it can never start a sentence.
So here's your practice for today. Write 1, 2, or 4 sentence in the comments, something true about your actual week.
We read every single one.
Subscribe to Say It if you haven't already.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone!